The Bob's Burgers movie is, needless to say, derived from the television show Bob's Burgers, which has ran since 2011. It's had 12 seasons now. It's directed by the series creators Lauren Bouchard and Bernard Derriman, which also happens to be both of their feature film directorial debuts, so that's pretty cool. And the film's plot is sort of split into these two major plot points, if you will. We follow Bob and Linda Belcher, the two parents of the Belcher family, who are kind of struggling to keep the restaurant afloat. They're having some rent issues, and they're just trying to kind of work things out with the bank and just sort of keep business going, really. Which on surface seems like just sort of a normal daily issue that Americans have to face. But then on the other hand, we have this murder mystery going on, which the kids, mainly led by Luis, are sort of trying to figure out and trying to solve this mystery, find out who killed this person. These kinds of movies always really excite me. Whenever there's a film coming out that is based off of an animated television show, you know, there have been some great ones in the past, like the Beavis and Butthead movie, Do America, or the South Park movie, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut, the Simpsons movie. I still vividly remember actually seeing the trailer for the Simpsons movie. It was either, I think, Surf's Up or B Movie that I was seeing back in 2007. And I just remember when it got to the part where Homer's doing the spider pig on the ceiling, I still remember how much the theater laughed at that part. Oh man, good times. But there's just something really exciting and cool to me about the transition from the television in your living room or wherever you choose to watch TV, or nowadays, you know, people watch on their phones or on their computers. Going from that to the big screen into a theater, I think it's just really cool, and I'm always just interested to see how that transition goes. And I would say for the most part, this movie pulls it off pretty well. I was entertained by this. I know some of the show, if I'm just being completely honest here. I haven't watched the entire series, but I have seen numerous episodes, so I had an idea of what it was and an idea of these characters and of this world, to, you know, not be completely lost in the film. And I'll say right off the bat, if you're hesitant to go see this movie because you haven't seen the entire show, or honestly maybe even any of the show, I think you could still go watch this and still have a good time, still be entertained, and not really feel like you're missing out on anything. And I would say a standout to me from what I have seen from the show has been the voice cast, has been the performances from these actors, the voice performances. And I mean, I think here it pretty much is another standout to me. You know, you have Harry John Benjamin, who plays Bob Belcher, as well as a few other characters, you know, very much like a Tom Kenny or like a Dan Castellaneta, you know, voicing several different characters. He's great, as always. You know, of course, I gotta point out Kristen Schaal as Louise, just her super iconic voice. You know, she's done a bunch of other animated things as well. Very recognizable voice and tone. I gotta say, though, I think the standout character to me in this film, who at least surprised me the most by how much I liked him and was entertained by him, was Teddy, voiced by Larry Murphy. I just thought this guy was super funny and sweet, because he's like very much trying to help out Bob and Linda. He builds this sort of mobile grill that they can take around the city or to this carnival, which plays a very prominent role in the film. And like he just becomes very attached to this cart and like trying to help them out with trying to make more money. And I found him to be a very endearing character. But going back to the setting, it pretty much only takes place at their restaurant that they have, as well as this carnival, which is just like a couple blocks away from where they're located. And it utilizes its setting really well. You know, if it's pretty much only taking place in one or two places. A couple times it'll go to the kids' schools as well, but I think it really, for the most part, made very good use of these minimal settings. Another thing that I do tend to like with these animated TV show turned movies is all the guest actors that are in the film. And in this one in particular, there's a lot that I didn't even realize. Let me just read off some of these. We got Zach Galifianakis, Kevin Kline, Gary Cole, Nick Kroll, Jordan Peele, Aziz Ansari, Jenny Slate. Paul Rudd is in this movie as well. I mean, just so many good guest actors. I Didn't even realize. I kind of wish I had looked it up before. I'm sure I would have gotten a real treat out of some of the cameo appearances. My issues with the movie mainly revolve around the screenplay as well as a couple of the stylistic choices. This is technically an animated musical comedy, so there are some songs, there are moments when they sort of break out into a song, and I wasn't really too into that aspect of the movie. The musical parts of it I wasn't really sold on, and it didn't really get better for me as more songs popped up. Luckily, it's only, I don't know how many songs were in it, maybe like 4 times when they busted out into a new tune, but I didn't really care for those parts of the movie very much. And I wasn't also totally pleased with this storyline revolving around this murder mystery. When it's sort of revealed who did it and who is the primary antagonist of the film, that character was completely cookie cutter, your most stereotypical cartoon villain ever. Like, there was nothing new or original about this character at all. Although I will say that there's a point where this one character, the antagonist that I'm talking about, actually starts to sing in one of the songs, and I found that part pretty funny, actually, because his voice was, I think, intentionally not very good, so that made me chuckle a little bit. But yeah, the way that this certain storyline was executed did leave a little bit to desire for me. I was honestly more intrigued and more compelled by the subplot with Bob and Linda trying to pay off their rents and trying to extend their owed loans to like a month or so, whatever all that was. I was more interested in that part. Beyond that, I don't think I have a lot else to say about this movie. I enjoyed it for the most parts. It served its purpose well, being one of these kinds of movies. It was cool just to see 2D animation, hand-drawn animation in the theater as well, because that's sort of, I don't want to say a dying form of animation, but almost all movies that come out nowadays that are animated are 3D. So it's cool to see this hand-drawn animation on the big screen. It was a good time at the theater, and it also did, one other thing I do want to say is that it had a couple of surprisingly very heartfelt moments. One scene in particular where the whole family's sort of stuck in this area together, and it really surprisingly hit me in the feels, this one little scene here. I'll give the Bob's Burgers movie a B-. I did have a few complaints with it. I do think I probably would have liked it more if I was much more familiar with the show. I liked it overall. I would recommend it. I think especially if you are a big fan of the show and you've seen all of it, this is a must watch. I don't even know why you would hesitate to go see it. You should just go see it. What are you doing? But yeah, that's all I got for you guys. If you have seen this, of course, let me know. Leave a comment about it, whatever, you know the drill. And thank you all for watching. Peace out.